Greetings, demons, and welcome to Warhammer Weekly, episode 51. So, we, of course, have all the Warhammer World Anniversary reveals, but first, we've got a bunch of other topics to cover, so no pickups this week. Let's just get straight into it, and yeah, get into topics after the intro.
Not the leader of a cult, RabbitWithAxe.
So, starting off, of course, we have a new month. It is now March, and that means a brand new monthly model and free collectible coin. This time around, we have the Neurogaunt, which is a very nice little Tyranid model. Actually, one of the ones that came in all the starter sets and stuff for this, 10th edition. So, yeah, a model that most people will probably have at least one of. But yeah, now you can add to your collection there. It's definitely a nice model. It's actually one of the Tyranid models I have yet to build yet. But, yeah, very nice little creatures. I do quite like the design of them. They're just not the kind of Tyranid design I adore, So, yeah, still very nice and cool to be able to get one for free. That is available from yesterday, the 2nd of March. And, yeah, in general, just some very nice models to add to your Tyranid collection if you haven't already. And then when it comes to the collectible coin, this time around it is the Dark Angels sigil, the Dark Angels design, their actual logo. And, yeah, if you're a fan of Dark Angels, definitely worth picking up. It's actually a pretty nice looking design in general, so I can't really complain too much about it, even as someone who doesn't care too much about Dark Angels. And, yeah, of course, that is also available from the 2nd of March, and I believe it's with purchases of £50 or more from your Warhammer store. So, yeah, very cool, and, yeah, very nice selection. Weird that the model doesn't match with the coin, though, I will say that, but still very cool, and, yeah, we can move on from there. And on to the first Warhammer World Anniversary reveal. This time, we have a brand new Adeptus Custodes model. This is the new Shield Captain, and as a lot of people pointed out, this is a very uninteresting model in the grand scheme of things. It looks fine, it looks good, it's good to see more Adeptus Custodes models, but I'd be lying if I said I cared at all for this model. There are some really nice Custodes models in my opinion. Even some of the Forge World models are actually quite nice. But, yeah, I can't really see much about this one. Its spear is pretty interesting. So the spear actually has a flamer built in, which I don't think we've ever seen before from them. We've seen them with bolters, we've seen them with... I think that might be it, actually. I've only never seen them with bolters. But, yeah, this one has a flamer, which is kind of interesting. And, yeah, otherwise, there's nothing wrong with this model necessarily. It's just not that interesting, it's not that cool in general, and, yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. It's just not that interesting of a model. I'm sure Custodes players are going to be very happy to be getting what looks like the start of a range refresh, but honestly, I'm not holding my breath on any of that. We do have the Auric Champions Battle Force, which I believe does include the new model, I think, but yeah, that doesn't show off anything else new. So yeah, it's a good time to be a Custodes player, I guess, because it does mean we are going to be getting some new stuff over the next few weeks, months, whatever, especially with the new codex. But yeah, I'm not too sold on this model, and by the sounds of it, most people agree with me that this is not that good of a thing. But yeah, it's Custodes. It looks like a Custodes. I'm sure Custodes players are going to be happy, but yeah, otherwise it's going to be it for that one. So moving on to another Warhammer World Anniversary reveal, we have the new Big Mech, and this guy is absolutely ridiculous. So if you don't know what the Big Mech is, he's essentially the medic equivalent for the orcs. He, repairs things, he fixes orcs, he does all that kind of fun stuff, and the Big Mech has always been a pretty nice model in general. It's been one of the better older models from Orcs, but this time around we are getting a full-on upgrade. So this guy has robot legs, he has a big gun arm, which can actually be both some sort of laser weapon as well as just a more generic bolter-looking weapon. He has a big claw attached to his other arm, just a bunch of random gizmos and gadgets attached to his back, including a flamer charge by the looks of it. He has an option for a drill, which looks to be based on a flamer, which is really interesting. Just a lot of really cool stuff on show, and yeah, this one is definitely going to be a popular model. I'm probably going to end up picking one of these up at some point, but yeah, in general, excellent model, absolutely great upgrade. And of course, just like with the Custodes, we've also got the new Battle Force Stomper Boys. This does come with a Stomper, which is ridiculous. But yeah, hopefully that means it's a good discount on that model. And yeah, of course it includes the new mech. So yeah, I like everything here. Just in general, Orcs are one of my favourite factions. They're not one that I've built up too much, but I'm always happy to pick up more models for it. And yeah, this new big mech is absolutely excellent. I love his posing. I love the options for the different weapons, as well as the difference between the stoic or the screaming face. That's also a great option. And yeah, just in general, a very, very good model. Love to see it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to actually seeing this one in person, so maybe I can pick it up. Moving over to Heresy Thursday, we have a new character. This is Tybalt Mar of the Sons of Horus, and yeah, he's not very interesting. It's been an unfortunate time for anything that isn't orcs this week, but yeah, it's a new Space Marine for 30k. I don't really know what else to say about it. His sword's quite interesting. It's serrated. It has a little Eye of Horus on the hilt. In general, he looks very generic, which is kind of unfortunate for a named character. But yeah, head of the Shattered Legions. He looks kind of cool. His pauldron, his shoulder armor is has crossing axes and stuff, which is quite interesting. Just in general, he's not a bad model. He's just not that interesting, and we have plenty of other models very similar to him, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, still, he's still fine. He's still cool, and yeah, I'm sure Sons of Horus players are going to be plenty happy with getting a new model. But yeah, it's not the most interesting thing to be getting, but still very nice, but just not that interesting. Moving on to another Warhammer World Anniversary reveal, we have the Gunnar brand, which is a new Oathbound team thing, whatever. And yeah, these guys look kind of interesting. It's humans, some of which have horns by the looks of it. I don't know if that's part of their helmets or not. It's kind of hard to tell. We have also a horse rider. Just some interesting models in general. The horse has like a skull over its face. There's also like a weird ghoulish creature, which is kind of interesting. There's just some interesting stuff. I'm pretty certain these are from something, like from a show or something. But yeah, I'm not too familiar. And they look interesting, but they're humans at the end of the day, or they're barbarians of some description. They're not that interesting in the grand scheme of Age of Sigmar. But, they look alright. Dark Oath, I don't know. They look fine. I don't care too much for them. I'm sure people are going to be very interested in getting these for their various Age of Sigmar Order armies or whatever. But yeah, for me, I look at these and I'm like, oh, that's neat. Not interested though, but yeah, still very, very neat. A lot of details, a lot of things like the various bits of armor, the shields, the cloaks and stuff are very well designed. There's a lot to look at and everything and to enjoy, but yeah, just nothing I care too much for. And for the final Warhammer World Anniversary, we move over to Blood Bowl, and this gives us the new Grimmed Warrow Groundhogs, and this is a new team of, I guess, gnomes? I assume that's what it is. I have gnomes or elves. I think the gnomes. And yeah, it's a new Blood Bowl team of elves. Of gnomes, even. Jeez. You get like a fox with them. This is actually where that goose from last week comes from. The goose is just on one of the models. There's a wolf option. There's just a lot of fun little things here. And yeah, in general, I think this has very quickly gone from something I didn't know I needed, something that I'm very much thinking about getting for my Blood Bowl team. But yeah, it's a very neat little team. I like the variety in posing. I like the variety in, we do have some female gnomes as well. Just like, and things like the goose and the fox and the wolf and stuff. They're just very, very nice inclusions. It's just a lot of fun stuff going on here. And yeah, in general, just some very, very fun new models. We also have this tree guy, which yeah, I don't really know what to make of him. He's called an Alton Forest Treeman. And yeah, he looks interesting. He's got a boot on one of his branches. He's got both a like a lower arm pad as well as like a back thing that says his number. Very interesting little model there. And yeah, of course, all the different animals and stuff that are on show here. Very, very cool. But yeah, we've got a brand new team for Blood Bowl. Very nice to see. Very cool models. And yeah, legitimately something that I am quite interested in. If I get into Blood Bowl properly, this will be how I get into it probably, rather than what I originally thought, which was a Seraphon. I do call it the Seraphon army, the Seraphon team, should I say. But, yeah, very, very neat models. Very, very much like the variety in the animals and everything on them. So, yeah, very cool, and that is all I have to say about it. And finally, that leaves us with the Rumour Engine for the 27th of February 2024. And this is probably actually from one of the reveals we had earlier, but it is some antlers. If I was to guess, I think this is actually... it might not be. I think this might actually be from the Dark Oath Age of Sigmar reveals that we've had today, but it's hard to tell for sure. It just kind of looked like what the little ghosty creature had on its head, but yeah, I'm just going to say it's some antlers. It looks interesting. If it isn't from that Dark Oath set, I'm sure it's going to be a cool model regardless. Definitely Age of Sigmar, but yeah, that's really all I can say about it. I'm sure it is from that Dark Oath set, but just in case, I'm sure it'll be interesting whatever it is. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss upload. Otherwise, comment below what you like, dislike, what do you think of all the reveals from Warhammer Anniversary, and yeah, otherwise I'll see you next time. Bye!
Look at the screen, you'll be fine. Culture's a disease, but worlds divine. I just wanna take